Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Biden's monuments, landmarks, what he just did, this big move. Everybody's cheering it, and questions have come in as to why it's such a big deal and why nobody's being specific on why it is a big deal and whether or not it's just a PR thing that people are celebrating. Okay, so the Trump administration cut the size of certain protected areas within the United States. The Biden administration just restored all of that. They used the Antiquities Act to do it. Those being impacted are Bears Ears, the Grand Staircase, the Northeast Canyon, and Seamonts. So, basically, Trump shrank all of these places. The Biden administration restored it. So why is it a big deal, and is it just a PR thing? It is definitely not just a PR thing. The reason people aren't being specific and why they're celebrating is because there's a lot to celebrate. Let's just, off the top of my head, the Anasazi had a lot of sites there. So there's a lot of artifacts, burial sites, structures, stuff like that are now going to be protected again. There are fossil dig sites that were in jeopardy until the protections were restored. The biodiversity in general. And then aside from all of this stuff that creates a wide coalition of people that are really happy, you have the fact that when the Trump administration did this, it certainly seemed as though they were gearing it up to allow for mining and fossil fuel exploration and stuff like that, which would have further degraded the environment. So that's why you have a whole bunch of people cheering and nobody really talking about the specifics, because it really is too much to list, especially when you're talking about the native groups that are involved with this. In many ways, they view the ancient sites as emails from the past, messages from their ancestors that are still need to be read every once in a while. So having them around is incredibly important from a cultural standpoint. And then the Biden administration in this action actually gave a Native coalition a pretty central role in making sure everything is run properly, which that seems like a really good idea. Are there any downsides to it? To me, there is one. I am of the belief that the Antiquities Act allows presidents to establish things like this, establish protected areas, establish parks like this. I don't believe it allows them to reduce them in size. The whole idea of this was to set it aside and protect it. I believe that Trump's actions were actually against the law. So I would have liked to have seen this go to court. At the same time, it's far more important to actually protect the sites than it is to get a ruling. Because if it happens again, it will go to court. That, to me, that's the only downside to this, is that we didn't get the ruling in time, because now that the protections have been restored, courts aren't going to want to hear it. It's moot. That's it. That's the downside. Everything else associated with this is good. So it extends protections to areas that need to be protected and that were lacking it. And undoubtedly, there was damage done during that window that will never be repaired. So, anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.